Welcome, everybody. Can you hear me? Please say peep if you can hear me. Hey, give me a sense you can hear me. That's good. We are only 8 so far. Shall we wait for a few minutes or shall we start? Please give me your opinion. Emma, what do you think? Should we still wait or should we start?
Could we please wait for them for a little longer?
Again, I couldn't hear you very well.
Let's wait a little longer, please.
Okay, all right. Let's wait a few minutes. All right. I think we should just start because all our time is precious. We cannot just keep waiting for people who might or might not come. Welcome, everybody. Let me just share my screen quickly. So I hope you can see my screen now. Let me start also recording our meeting. Okay, so welcome again. I think those people who are here today are also the ones who are already active on the course, which is a bit of a pity because I wanted to also see what might be the issues among those who haven't been able to start reading the course so that we can address those. But maybe all of you who are here today can make an effort to reach out to those of your fellow students who might have problems with the course and see how you can assist them maybe in getting access to the course or finding the motivation to start reading the course. What we will do today is I would like to do a quick poll with you to see if everybody has their mic on. All right. Do a quick poll to see how you're doing with the course. Then I would like to get your feedback. And then I would like to talk about, could you please all mute your microphones because I'm hearing my own echo from your end. Then I will talk a bit about why we would start an enterprise in food processing anyway, and see if you have some ideas there yourself. And then I can take you again through maybe some of the issues on the technicalities of the course, like accessing the platform, navigating through the course, and so on. And then I would like to give you some tips at the end on how to really successfully engage in online learning. And at the end, if you have any questions or answers, we can address them as well. So welcome again. I don't know who of the lecturers is here. Gemma, you are here. Anybody else? Yitna has excused himself. He has another engagement. Is Teruso here? No. Okay. I would like to know who of you who is here right now is new, who was not in the kickoff meeting, because there were some people who signed up to the course after the kickoff event. Is any of you here new and has never been with us? If so, just raise your hand maybe, or show me a thumbs up. Have you all been in the last kickoff meeting?
Sorry, me, Zambas, I was not attending the first class, but I have seen the video recaps.
Okay, great, good. So then you know who I am. My name is Anya. I'll be your online tutor for this course. And Girma is going to be the person who's coordinating the students on your side. and the lecturer in charge is Teresa. So welcome. I would like to do a quick poll. First, let me just start this one. Why can't I move this now? All right. You should see a poll on your screen. Let me know if you do. Can you see that poll on your screen? Please give me some quick feedback. Otherwise, I don't know what you're seeing or if you're not seeing the poll. Do you know what a poll is? Girma, are you seeing the poll?
Yes, we are seeing the poll.
Great, thank you. Please only answer all the questions and then click submit at the end, because if you do it in between, then you can't see the remaining questions. So go through all the questions. Some people have not answered. Sorry, there's 2 questions in there which are empty. I don't know how they appeared. I'm sorry about that. It's just the first 2 questions, then question number 5, ignore 3 and 4. Three people haven't answered yet. Can we get everybody to answer, or are you on a device that doesn't allow you to answer the questions? There's question number 5 is the last one at the bottom. Sorry about that. Just scroll down until you see the last question. I see 2 of you have answered the first 2 questions, but not the last one. All right. If you are all done, then I will just end the poll here and show you the results. So all of you have spent some time or more than an hour on the course. And you said it was a bit hard, too easy to navigate through the course. And issues were in 1 person had problems finding the course, 2 people had issues with navigating through the lessons, and 2 people had problems with slow internet. Okay, thank you for your feedback. Let me close this. This is very important information for us because it helps us understand maybe how we can give you more or better information, or how we can improve the course so that it is easier for you to read it and not get stuck and demotivated. If you say the internet is slow, does that mean the course loads very, very slowly? Just open your mic so you can give me answers. So those of you who have said that the problem was with slow internet, can you describe what the problem was? Does it take very long to get from one part of the course to the next one because it loads forever, or what is the issue? Nobody dares to say. Please just unmute yourself so you can tell me what the problem was. Those who said they had issues with slow internet. All right, if you don't want to, then
It takes, I'm not the one who opted, but I observed that it takes several minutes to synchronize, to go to one activity to another activity.
Well, that is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That can be very annoying, huh?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that, but that tells us that we need to maybe take some content of the course and store it somewhere else, so it is the size of the course is smaller for you to load it more quickly. So let me ask you some more questions on the content of the course. So all of you have obviously entered the course. Which form of entrepreneurship was your favorite? I've read all of your assignments, but which one have you chosen? Like, write it in the chat. Use the chat function to tell me which was your favorite, so that we get a bit of an collective overview. Retail. Social. Sustainable. Okay. I saw there was a lot of discussions going on in the forum about sustainable and social entrepreneurship, especially sustainable retail again. Okay. Social. I found this interesting when I was working with students in Kenya. A lot of them actually had the vision once they were settled in life and they had made some money. They all wanted to actually give back to community and start some kind of training center to teach people what they knew or what they had learned, which I find amazing, because we often think, like, especially in African countries where people struggle financially, all their goals should be like, I want to be rich. But mostly all of my Kenyan students actually had this, were aspiring to give back to a community, and also seeing that how many of you care about the environment and want to maybe invest in green energy or in environmentally sustainable solutions to tackle climate change. I think that is amazing, that very few of you want to just become rich by being an entrepreneur. Great. Have you also read further on in the course on what kind of businesses are available along the agri-food value chain? Or have you only read up to the entrepreneurship part? If you have read up to the business part, like, which kind of businesses would you choose for your work through this course? Because this course will actually ask you to develop your own business model to the end. So now in the beginning, you should choose what kind of business idea do you want to develop throughout the course. So have you decided what kind of business you would prefer? Just keep writing in the chat. Even if you haven't, just say I haven't yet. But if you have, just let us know.
Mine is different. From the assignment, I have learned that it is on food, I know, but as a social entrepreneur, I have seen some problems on social aspect like transportation.
Okay.
So mine is a different one.
Okay, fine.
So,
that is good. I mean,
so
a lot of
what,
examples in the course will be on food, but you can also develop a business model outside the food value chain. So it's on transport.
yes.
Okay, tell us more.
The problem on transport is we need to spend many times to get, for example, tickets, and at the same time we travel again to get the transport, actual transport. For that, I was thinking that we need to have one-stop buying, online booking like that, which is a transport from our local transport. Why don't adopt this transport like airport transports and like that? So we can book and we can cancel. We can also arrange a sort of one-stop buying. That's what was my idea. On that, we can also book, for example, meals, food, so that we can enjoy the journey.
Excellent, excellent. So what Anbes just gave us here is a perfect example of how you get a business idea. The first step is always recognizing a need or a problem that you could solve and offer it to the community and earn money from it. So Anbes has seen the problem of is not being able to get tickets and has thought like, let me come up with a solution so that people can get tickets more easily. Because if I see this problem, maybe other people see this problem as well, and they're willing to pay a small fee for me providing this service of giving them tickets. So excellent idea, excellent way of how to get a business idea. So once you get to that chapter in the course where you have to decide on your own business form, think of it like, where will my business idea be? What kind of business do I need? So Anbes is going to start an online platform business, an exchange platform business. Just read further through the course so you see the different models there and start thinking about what kind of business you would like to develop in this course. So the last question then is, which consumer trend do you think is playing a big role at the moment? So which trend could be influencing people's willingness to pay for a product or for a service? Health issue. So, okay. Can you, Xiong, can you tell us a bit more about the health issue? What, in which regard do you think health is the big trend or a big issue at the moment? Is it like people want to have healthier diets, or is there a specific problem? Just write in the chat. If you don't want to open your mic, you can just write in the chat. For example, here in Europe, one big consumer trend right now is vegan diets. People do not want to eat meat for several issues. Maybe they care about how animals are kept and treated. They don't want to kill animals for their food, or for health reasons. They might think meat-based diets are bad for their bodies. So veganism is a big thing here in Europe right now. I don't know in Ethiopia, what do you think is consumer trends there?
We have that trend, but most of the trend we can see is fast food. These days, roadside fast food and easy access to food, and of course, price which is affordable is becoming trending now. Fast food is really the unique one. It's coming growing in these days.
Yeah, and that's a trend I've seen in Kenya and Tanzania as well in the last 10 years coming up, with like those fast food chains popping up like KBC, or you could buy chips and chicken everywhere. So yeah, I think that is where like where the middle class is increasing and people have some extra money to go and spend with their families, maybe just Saturdays afternoons while they're busy working the whole week, and they don't want to cook on the weekend, or they come back home late from work, and on the way they just want to quickly have a bite. I think that's a trend in these kinds of societies where the middle class is growing. What has Jianbing writing? The health issue is a big concern in consumer trends as more and more people are becoming conscious of their health and well-being. This has led to a shift in consumer behavior with a growing demand for healthier and more natural products. Consumers are increasingly looking for organic foods. Ah, okay. Yes, that is also a big trend here in Europe, and it has actually made a huge change over the last 15 years. But now with the Ukraine war, it's becoming even more interesting, because now fertilizers and agrochemicals have become so expensive because a lot of them came from Russia or from Ukraine, and they're no longer entering the market, that the prices have gone up for these so much that the conventional production of foods has become more expensive than organic production. And now we can find organic foods in the supermarkets at cheaper prices than conventional products. And that is a very, very interesting shift. Chen was thinking about urban farming, because urban people tend to be more health conscious because they have more money and they are more stressed, and they don't have time to cook their home cooked meals like they used to eat in the villages. Yeah, they eat more fat or unhealthy fats. Yeah, urban farming could be an interesting idea. Good. Thank you so much. I will share the survey questions again on email though, because I haven't received many results back. Somebody said the survey was not open, so I'll check what the problem is there, but I would like to still get some feedback on the survey. Now, one thing I would like to address is attendance in the course. So far, almost 50 people have signed up to the course, but I can see about 20 who are actually active in the course. I can see this is a screenshot from my end of the course, where I can see the activities of every student who has been reading the course. So I can see exactly which part of the course you have opened and read, and I can see the submissions that you've made. So as you can see, some of you have been very active, some have been alrightish active, and some have never actually seen anything in the course. So what I have decided, because it's a very big group, and this is a voluntary course, so nobody forces you to do this course. So those who have originally signed up but really are not very interested in finishing the course or reading the course, I will remove them from the course if they haven't entered the course by next week. So we should see if there are any participants or people who are enrolled in the course who just have trouble accessing the course. So the issue is not that they don't want to read it, but they can't read it because they don't know how to access it. And I would like to address this issue quickly so that everybody who wants to read the course can read the course, because that would be the most important thing for me. But then if we have excluded that issue, Gemma, I need your help there as well. Please make a follow-up with everybody to see if there is still somebody who would like to access the course but can't. And by the end of next week, those who I see have never entered the course, I will just remove them and no longer enroll them in the course so that we can work very closely with the ones who are active. All right, just that for your information. And I hope you can help me because I'm not in Hawasaa. I hope you can help me reach out to all the others who are signed up but have not been on the course to find out what their problems are. So, question. I need to have your feedback. I'm afraid that probably most people who are here today are the ones who didn't have any problems because they were able to access the course. But even you maybe might have initially had some problems. Please let me know where your issues were, because then we can address them today, or I can send out another email with more explanations. Do you want to write it in the chat or do you want to? So first of all, did you have any problems?
We get an email today, and that email says that we already corrected assignment 1. But I couldn't see once I submitted. Is it? I mean, if you say saved, I mean it was. I think the language was in Germany.
Oh,
so I opt for the first one. It's supposed to be saving, I guess, save or something like that. I don't remember the exact word for that one. I think the second one is a bit different, so I opt for the first one, which maybe most probably be saving. So I saved already, but when I get back and see whether it is submitted or not, I can't trace.
Okay.
I can't trace that one. Is there? I mean, I don't know whether it's a possibility for the one which I've already done should be, I think, market or somewhere.
Okay. Okay. Have you changed your language settings to English?
Yeah, it's automatically set.
Okay.
When they
Some of the standard texts are still in German, which is a bit of a pity, but they have promised me they'll change the platform settings so that there's also text in English available soon. But rest assured, even if you've just saved it but not submitted it, I can still see it. And whatever has been uploaded, I will mark it, and regardless if you've been able to submit it or just to save it. I would need to have a look at the platform to see what is H5P. Okay. Okay. H5P. So, Anders, don't worry. If you've saved your assignment, I'll see it. H5P. H5P is just the name of a certain file type on Moodle platforms. If you want to attempt it, you just click on it. Let me just go further in the course. I just rushed through this a little bit. Just don't worry. We'll go back here. Just want to show you something. So let me just see. Here. once you've opened one of these chapters, yeah, so, oops, I know I'm seeing I don't want to see the chat. So these are the chapters or the lessons in the course. And if you click on this little arrow here, it opens this lesson. And then inside the lesson, you see the different parts of the lesson. So here you have the welcome part, you have the training session. And if you click on the lines which are green in each section, it opens the section. And this does the same. I don't know if I have one for H5P here. So if you click on this, you can read this chapter. If it says here in the front, if it says H5P, it's the same. You just click on this line, the green line, and it opens the H5P. And the H5P will be, it can be a quiz, it can be a bit fancier book, it can be a video, it can be a link, it can be different things. It's just a bit more interactive file format on the Moodle platform. So you don't need to worry about this H5P thing. Just always click on the green line next to the icons in the front, and it will get you to the part of the lesson. Is that clearer? Let me just go back to where we were. The problem was from Sami. Okay. How do we attempt the question? Sami, what do you mean with how do we attempt the questions? Did I answer your question, or is there more problems that you have with that? It's like if it's a quiz, if this H5P, for example, is a quiz, yeah, it gives you some questions, and then it can be different ones, and there can be some where you just have cards like flashcards for your own learning, where you have maybe the question at the front and the answer on the back. And once you see the question in the front, you can just think about like, okay, what would be the correct answer? And once you have made up the answer in your head, you can turn the card around and check if what you thought is the answer is the same with the answer on the back. It does not, this is not a test. It is just for you to check if you know what you've read. Yeah, it's just for you a self-check on what you remember. So these cards are basically just a question, think about it. Once you've thought about it, turn around and check the correct answer against what you thought what the answer was. That is just for you to remind yourself. Some are maybe, oh, the problem is that it says the student has not attempted the H5P questions, even though we have completed all the activities and assignments. Have you done the H5P? Then it should say you've done it. Usually it just tracks all your activities. Is that in the first lesson, Sami? Couldn't find it anywhere.
Can I jump in?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think what Sami is saying, after completing a task, when you try to check our grades on the grades section, when you click on the certain activity, it says H5P is not submitted yet, even though we have submitted it. In the grades section.
Okay. Okay, because some maybe don't have grades, but I need to make a follow-up on that. So that is in lesson 1 or lesson 2?
It was in lesson 1 previously, but since the assignment 1 is marked already, now in lesson 2 it says H5P is not submitted yet. Okay, in lesson 2.
Okay,
Assignment 2.
Okay, I make a follow-up on that. I will check the settings. Okay, how can I edit assignment submitted, or how can I submit second draft? I think you can just, there should be a button for edit. Is there no button for edit? Because you see, I don't see what you see because I'm seeing the lecturer view, you seeing the student view, but because it has the function for you to edit your assignment, you should be able to just open it again and change it. And yeah,
sorry for interrupting. There is
No
no
worries.
any option for submitted assignment.
If you click on the assignment, do you see the file that you've uploaded? Do you see that little file?
No, we can't, but it downloads immediately.
Okay, so if you download
downloads
it,
the file.
okay, and then you can't reload it, re-upload it?
No. There is no option for reloading or submitting another or second draft assignment.
Okay, because the settings are actually allowing editing and upload, and indefinitely, actually. You can, from the settings, you can change it as often as you want, but I can also check on that. But all your drafts were fine anyway, so don't worry, you don't need to edit. They look all good. Okay, good. I will have a look at that and see if we need to make any changes there. I'll ask one of our students to check because he can see the student view. All right. Any other problems? I will update you on the follow-up on the things that you've told me and see how it goes. But there's nothing for you to worry about that yet. Just move forward, keep on reading. Because I on my side, I can probably see what you've done, and that's all good. Can you show us every student's attendance? I'm not sure if I can actually share that, everybody's information about your attendance. That's a bit private. I can, you can track your own attendance. You can see everything, what you've done should show that you've completed it. So you can track your own progress. And what is still red means you still have to do it. What's turned gray means you haven't done it. But then there's 20 people in this meeting right now, and I think these are also the 20 people who are active in the course. The other 30 have not done anything on the course so far. So you can reach out to them. Have you got anything that you liked about the course so far? Nothing?
It has a good design for self-learning actually, and it
You
gives
like-
also, yeah, it gives you also room for searching, right? You can spend more time to searching on, even to respond specific question. That enables me to read more and involve more. But the bad thing, I mean, not interesting thing is that we can't see the progress bar. And as the previous speaker says, if I try to respond all the questions specifically on Sunday and try to manage all, because we have an appointment on Monday, I mean Tuesday today, so I try to manage by the given time, but I can't see again, leave alone editing, I can't see whether it is submitted or not.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
if the draft is actually saved, please check us again. Let us know whether we need to rework or not.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Those of you who have submitted their work, have you received your grades today? this morning I sent out the grades. Have you received a notification about that?
We got the notification, but as I said earlier, I didn't get the grade.
Oh, you didn't see the grade? Okay.
Yeah.
You've all done very well. I think almost everybody got full marks. Okay, so somebody said they like the pictures and the videos. Okay, that's good. That's good. Then we'll keep on doing that. Let me see. I'll check how you can better track your progress and see your grades. I will talk to our team about this, that we can improve on that. All right. Thank you for all your feedback. Anything else that you want to say before we move on regarding the course structure, the course design, the course content? Gilma likes the resources. That's great, because I put a lot of effort in collecting those. And they're not mandatory, so you don't have to read the resources, because there's a lot. You will see once you go through the course, there's a lot. But I've put them there because I thought they are valuable, and if you are very interested in a specific topic, you might want to read up more or see more videos to a certain topic. What I like about the course is the platform is very user-friendly and well organized, which makes it easy to navigate. Okay, I really am not a big fan of Moodle, so I always find it very difficult to navigate. So I'm happy to see that you find it easy to navigate. That's a big relief to me. All right. Okay. Then what I would like to do today is give you a bit more input, which is not on the course platform. And this kind of input I will provide for every online meeting that we have. We will talk a bit about entrepreneurship and food on different topics that are not in the course, but which are also important. So I will give you a little bit of face-to-face input with every online meeting that we have to make it a bit more interesting for you also to come to these meetings. So one of the big questions when you start this course is, why would you want to start an enterprise in food? Or why should anybody start an enterprise in food? And let me just move here so I can see better what I'm doing. The biggest issue that entrepreneurship in food answers is that right now, especially in African countries, but also like in the Pacific and in the Caribbean, we have huge crop losses after harvest usually, or at least farmers perceive that there's a big risk of crop losses due to spoilage. And as a coping structure, what farmers do, they usually sell off their crops very quickly after they harvest, and normally at giveaway prices, just to make sure they sell before it spoils, which is understandable, but which is also creating a big problem, because on one hand, the farmer earns less than he could if he just waited a little bit. And so like a few months later, but because everybody harvests around the same time, because you have those very distinct rainy and dry seasons where people can grow a crop. So usually everybody harvests at the same time, sells at the same time, everything is very cheap, there's a flash in the market. And a few months later, the crop disappears because nobody is harvesting it anymore. It's all taken up in the market and there's a shortage. So prices increase, obviously, due to the shortage. Now what would be the point in time where the farmer could actually earn a lot of money, but they have no more produce to sell. So there is a problem, a financial problem for the farmers, because they do not actually gain the price they could gain. And there's also a problem of food security in the market, because you have those fluctuations of flashes and then shortages. And food processing actually helps us to first, sorry, this is a spelling mistake. I'm very sorry about that. Reduce post-harvest losses, because you can preserve what you have to enable longer storage periods. You can actually also generate increased income. First of all, because you can sell at a time where the prices are high, and you can actually also change the nature of your product so that it gains a higher price. And by this, you can improve food security, because you can sell crop, or they can sell food for a longer period, and even in those shortage periods. But also some processed foods are actually higher in nutritional value. So besides just addressing the problem of food security and food shortage, you can also process food to provide better foods, better nutrition. So then the problem is also, we have a lot of people confuse food processing and food preservation. So what I just addressed is more or less just the aspect of food preservation. That means changing food in such a way that it can be kept in storage for longer. That could be drying, that could be preserving, canning, that could be packaging. Sometimes packaging is a good way to preserve food, freezing, and all of these. But food processing, and what we will look at in the course, is a bit more than just preservation. And food can either be processed for immediate consumption. That's what we do at home. If we cook a meal, we process the food. And that's also what happens in a restaurant or in those roadside stalls that somebody mentioned right now when we were talking. So that is processing for immediate consumption. But we can also add value. For example, if we have just flour, that's the raw material, or basically the grain would be the raw material. The first processing step would make it into flour, which is actually, consumers would rather buy the flour than the grain, because they don't have a mill at home. And so that it's more convenient for them to use the flour than the raw grain. So that would be the first processing step, which actually already adds value, because the consumer is willing to pay more for the flour than for the raw grain. And the next step, you could use the flour to bake bread, which would be sold more expensive than obviously just the flour. Or you could make cookies or cakes or chapatis or whatever it is, to actually gain a higher price for the original base product, which was the grain that you had. The other thing that you can do is you change the properties of a certain food. For example, let's say you have fruits. When you make jam out of it, it gets a different texture, a different flavor, a different mouthfeel, and it can stay in storage for a year or 2 years, while fresh fruits would spoil very, very fast. You can change properties, for example, of cabbage. You can ferment cabbage to make some kimchi or sauerkraut, which are fermented cabbages, and they have not just a different texture and flavor, but they also have the amount of vitamin C in them increases a lot. So you change the whole product. And of course, if you process food, you can generate income, because you work on the product and you are being paid by the customer for the work that you put in creating this product. And another thing that helps with processed foods, because a lot of people, they might not have access to a certain raw material, but they could buy it if it's in the shelves in the supermarkets as a processed food. And this will add a lot more variety in people's diets. And they will no longer be just eating, I don't know, in Ethiopia, you eat injera and maybe lentils or meat. but you can also then have dishes which are a variety of different vegetables, which are not usually found in people's diets, but will actually increase the nutritional value of what they're eating. So then we have different kinds of food processing operations. It can be done either just at home level, very small, by using very simple techniques and very simple equipment, basically everything that you already find in your house, like pots and pans and knives and spoons. And you don't need to invest in anything. And that is what good housekeeping is basically about. So if it's usually done by the women, if they have excess raw product and they turn it into some food in a meal or into a snack or something that they can store, maybe canning it, that is good housekeeping. This is the basics of how humans started being more sufficient and able to sustain themselves for longer periods, even if there was no fresh food available. You can do it simply for preservation purposes. So you have too much of something and you don't want to get it spoiled. You want to keep it for longer. That is what you do. But you could also start using a bit more know-how and invest in a few machines to actually set you up for a bigger operation. That means you're not just using what you already have, but you can start buying produce from others and process on a bigger scale, or process in a different way, which is not simple and cannot be done by everybody. And this can be low cost, or if you are capable of raising more funds, you can also do this with a bit more financial commitment by buying machines, or by hiring people, by renting a premises, and so on. And in the end, it's not just about preserving, as I said, but you could also be adding value. Like these people here, they're using fruits which would otherwise be spoiling in the market very quickly. They make them into jams and sell them at a higher price in the supermarkets. If you choose your business, and all of you are probably in the state in the course where you now have to choose your business, your choice depends on a couple of points. First of all, what kind of finished product is it going to be, or is it a service? Maybe you're not actually going to make a product, but you actually want to offer a service. But if you're making a product, then what is its storage capacity? So how long will you be able to store it? Because that also dictates a lot of how much processing and preservation you need to put in, and how you organize your transport chain, your cooling chain, your storage, and so on. Then the next choice is like, at what kind of scale of production are you aiming at? Is it just you doing some bottles of chutney at home? Are you going to produce hundreds of bottles, thousands of bottles? Are you going for export? So that's the next question that you have to answer for yourself. And then you need to see, well, like, how much financial capacity do you have? Is it just yourself? Can you maybe borrow in your family, from your friends? Can you find an investor? Can you convince a bank to give you a loan? And so on. And the biggest question in the end would always be, what do your customers want? As we said earlier, like Abel was saying, he saw the problem that people can't buy tickets. Same here. Your product should not be something because, let's say, I can make this kind of jam, so I'm going to make a business out of it. If you don't have any customers who are willing to buy this jam, you will not have a business. So the problem should be, these customers really want to eat jam. I know how to make this jam, so I'm going to answer their need. And then this product will sell itself because these customers are already waiting for this jam. But if they want this jam, how do they want this jam? Do they want it in big bottles and small bottles? Do they want it with pieces or smooth with no pieces? Do they want it in the supermarket or do they want it delivered to their homes? And yeah, so the question is, what do your customers want? And can you answer to this want? That will be the biggest question to answer if you start your business. All right, let me just go back. Any comments or questions up to here? You can also write in the chat.
Don't you think that the expected requirement from customer is a very important in the beginning of our business?
Absolutely. That's why we're talking about consumer trends. That's why once you keep reading through the course, this is one of the biggest topics that you will have to think about when you start developing your business idea, because this is where it all starts. I think in the course, but let me tell you right now, you see, like an iPhone or a new Samsung Galaxy costs more than $1,000, right? Does anybody honestly need a phone for over $1,000? Because what these phones do is you can make a phone call, you can write an SMS, you can check things online, you can take pictures, maybe upload videos, whatever, but you can do this with $100 phones just as well. So is there really a need for anybody to buy $1,000 phone? I would say no. Not if you look at the need of writing a message, making a phone call, checking the internet, taking pictures. I can do this with $100 phone. So why is it still that if a new iPhone gets released or the new Galaxy gets released, they are usually sold out within the first day? The first release of several thousands of these phones is sold out on the first day. Why do people spend over $1,000 and are very keen to spend over $1,000 for such a phone? And the answer to this question is exactly because this phone is so expensive. What they want from this phone is not make a phone call. What they want from this phone is, if they take it out and people see it, all the people around them see, oh, he has the newest Galaxy, he has the newest iPhone. Whoa, he's so rich, he can spend $1,000 on a phone. That is the need of the customer that these phones answer. If these phones were cheap, if they would just cost $100, nobody would buy them, because that is not the want of the customer that is answered. So in a product or in a service, you sometimes have a need. That means the customer really needs to buy a ticket to drive somewhere and he can't get the ticket, or the customer needs to drink water, but there is no water. That is a need. Or you can have a want. You see, I want to drink orange juice. I don't want to drink water. I don't need to drink orange juice, but I want to drink orange juice. So these are the two different categories why people buy a service or a product. Either they need it or they want it. And funnily enough, you would think they are willing to pay more for the things that they really need. But our human nature actually makes us willing to pay more for the things than we want than the things that we need. So like a human has to drink water every 2 days, otherwise we'll die. That is a very dire need. But we're not willing to pay as much for water as we're willing to pay for juice or a soda or any fancy beverages. And the more ridiculous these drinks become, they're sometimes really unhealthy, but we're willing to pay a lot more for them because they're just fancy, you see? They do not answer our bodily need for water, but they answer our need for having a want for a fancy drink. So once you start developing your business idea, just as Anbes said, always take it from that point first. What actually is maybe a want or a need in the market that you can answer? And if you can answer that need or want because you're good at it or you're passionate about it, even better. But just because you're good at something or you're passionate about something, it doesn't mean that anybody's willing to pay money for it. So you need to be very careful in how you come up with your business idea. Any comments, questions? Please engage. I'm here to talk to you, not just to listen to myself. No? No more comments, no more questions? All right. Then I will move on to the next topic, and that is accessing the course. Maybe all of you are already 100% good at it and you know how to do it. But when you get to this page, when you like enter the course link, which is always with the 3451 at the end, you see this picture, and it doesn't really make sense what it says here. But this is the button, this red continue after self-enrollment, non-editing lecture. That is the one that you have to press, to click, to get to the course. All right. Then you come to this picture or this window, which is all in German, unfortunately. And here, what you have to do is click on the first bar, which means enter the course with your account name. So this second bar is only for lecturers who have an HSWT address. So this is not for you. This first bar is where you click to enter the course. If you are not registered, you can click here to register. And if you've forgotten your password, this is where you can actually ask to renew your password. If you click on that, you will get an email. This window will open first, and then here you can try to find your account first. So either you add here your account name, or you click on this. Wait, this is wrong. So here you have your account name, or you enter your email address here. And then if you click on these buttons, which means suchen means search, it will try to find your account. So once you found your account, then you can ask for an email. They will send you an email. If you click here, it just means continue, but nothing happens then until you reconfirm and change your password. So you will receive an email, and with this email, then you can change your password. Once you're all good, you haven't forgotten your password and you remember your account name. So this is where you put your account name, and the account name is the one that doesn't have an empty space and has all small letters. So it's not your email address or anything, it's the account name that you set in the beginning. And then here in the second one, you write your password, and then you go on login, and you should be able to enter the course. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, I will send this out to all of you by email again to make sure that everybody is able to access the course, because I would like to exclude the problem of not being able to get into the course from the reasons why people are not reading the course. Okay. Any questions? Any comments here? So far, so good, says Semi. Okay, then I hope you speak for everybody. Then I would like to take you to the last section for today, which is how to actually do successful online learning. Because online learning is a bit different from going to class. If you go to class, you have a set schedule, you know, first period, I have to be in biology, or first period, I have to be in economy. And you go there and your teacher takes attendance and you sit in class. That doesn't mean that you're listening. You could also be fiddling on your phone or sleeping or talking to your neighbor, but you're there, you know. And if you're lucky, you're listening. If you're lucky, your lecture is really good and you get a very good lesson. But then you get an assignment or they give a handout and you know what you have to do. And the next lesson, you have to come back with your assignment. You have to hand it in. It's all very structured. And it's also all very imposed because the school or the uni is telling you that's what you have to do if you want to get your marks. In an online course, that is very, very different. I mean, I can see if you're attending, but you can attend anytime you want. I'm not telling you you have to do it today or tomorrow. You can do it anytime you want. The course is open until July. So even if you want to start reading the course in March, you could theoretically do that. So for online learning, it is actually the whole responsibility for learning is 100% on you, the learner. It is not on the lecturer to actually give you a lecture or a lesson. So in online learning, you have to actually make yourself go onto the course and read it at your own pace and at your own intensity level. So that, for me, I think that's a good thing because it takes you as the learner as an adult, responsible person who can make their own choices. And the course is not something that you have to just finish so you get a certificate at the end, but it is actually just a resource for you to improve your knowledge. Instead of you having to Google for everything, it's already there. It's a bit digested. It's put together. You can read through it at your own pace, at your own time. You can do it in the evening or when you're free. And you can do it from wherever you are. You don't have to come here to Germany to read the course, which is great, I think. So, but to be able to do that successfully and not get tired, because reading online can also be very, very, very tiring and frustrating if it doesn't work as you hope it would. So first thing is, give yourself a good environment. So just being slouched somewhere, scrolling on Instagram at the same time while you're trying to read the course is not a good idea. Same as it not in class. So if you're just hanging on your chair in class and trying to see what's happening on your phone while the teacher is talking to you is not a good idea. And the same in online classes. Try to make time for the course where you're focused, and give yourself an environment where you are undisturbed, where you have good internet connection, where you have no noise around you and you can read peacefully. Set your schedule, like as the school does for you, say period 1, period 2, period 3, class 1, class 2, class 3. Do that for yourself as well. Say, okay, I'm setting apart a certain time of the day or of the week, which I will work on the online course. I think your university has actually set aside the computer lab for you on 1 day a week to make it possible for you to sit on the computers and use the internet in school, which is great. I think that's fantastic. And you should make best use of that. But otherwise, just look where in your schedule do you have time to actually read the course and say, okay, that is my online course time. and I would stick to it. Also, it helps you to remember, okay, there was an assignment that I have to do, there was an activity that I have to finish. If you actually keep track of what you're doing and what's due when. One thing that is super important in online learning is not to become lonely. Because if it's just you and your computer, that can be a very, very lonely activity. And we as humans, we are social beings. We want to connect, we want to exchange, we want discourse. We don't just want to be alone in front of a computer. That's very, very unhealthy in the long run. So trying to make use of the forum sections, which are in the course, as much as possible. And I've seen really, really great discussions going on in the forum already. But each lesson at the end has a chat function. So you can also, while you go through the course, for each lesson, you can also just chat about what's happening in the lesson. All right, something that sparked your interest, a question you have, something you're wondering about. You can always start chatting with each other in the chat function at the end of each lesson. Just go through the lesson and see at the end, you will see a chat, and there it says, here you can engage with each other and with us. And if there's some chat comments posted for me, I will also try to make time to answer as much as possible. So that is that. Try to interact as much as possible so that you get the sense of we are a community of learners and we're in this together and we're all moving forward together. And we think about this together, and we can share our ideas, and we can also share our problems or questions. And then there's something that's called the chunking strategy in online learning. You see, in the online learning, there's a lot of different stuff that comes after each other. And it can be, how would I share it? Overwhelming. If you see all of this and you go like, oh, I'm supposed to read all of this. That's too much. I'm already tired looking at it. So cluster it into chunks and say, okay, now I'm just going to read that much. And once you've done this, or once you have done one activity, you say, okay, now it's enough for now. I'm giving myself a break. And then you come back sometime later and you read the next chunk. So don't try to read all of it or a lot of it in one go. Just break it up into chunks for yourself that you think that are digestible for you and are healthy for you to be online in one go. All right. Then there's also important ways to keep yourself motivated, because once you go through the course, you can find like, oh, this is going on forever. Why should I continue reading this? I can't bring myself to keep reading. Because if there is no external motivation which kicks you if you don't read, then we humans tend to slack off a bit. So how do you keep yourself motivated? As I said, you're adults. This motivation has to come from yourself. You need to find it in yourself why you want to read this course. And there's a few ways to do that. So first of all, you can think like, whatever I'm reading here now, how can that be useful for me in the future? And this is a course on entrepreneurship. And a lot of you have answered the questionnaire that you're interested in entrepreneurship, or you were interested in setting up a business at some point. So keep this in mind. Once you're out of university, maybe you don't find a job, or you are part of a business. Even then, all the knowledge that you will gain in this course will be very, very helpful for you. But especially if you want to set up your own business, going through this course, going through the process of thinking through your business idea step by step and understanding all the aspects which are important in setting up a business and in running a business, this will be very, very useful for you once you actually get to do it. So if you think like, oh gosh, is this really useful for me? Maybe you just remind yourself some way in the future, this might be helpful. And this is connected to the second part, like imagine yourself as your future self. Imagine yourself how you will be, what kind of person and capable person you will be once you have finished the course and you have accumulated all of this knowledge and you have thought through your business idea in many different angles and you've shaped your business idea. So just imagine yourself as the master of this topic at the end of the course. And then another thing is, and this is particularly important for this course, problem solve on your own. So this course will give you challenges in the assignments. And these challenges are for you, not for me. They're not for me to see if you can actually solve the problem. These challenges are for you to go through the process of problem solving. Because problem solving is, in the end, the genius act that we humans do. If we have a challenge, we come up with a solution to the challenge or to the problem, and the process of thinking through the problem moves us forward. We change from here to there because we've solved the problem. And just looking up a solution to a problem does not do the same, because we have not understood the problem and found the solution ourselves. We've just like taken a shortcut and said like, okay, here's the answer, but the answer is not for me. You see, I do not need your assignments. I already know what I'm teaching you. The assignments are for yourself to think through a question, to think through a problem, and to come up with a solution for yourself. All right. So use these assignments, as annoying as they might be at some time, as a challenge to yourself that will help you find better ways of doing stuff in the future. All right. That is my piece of advice for you, how to go through this course and how to make the most out of this course. Because this course is not about, at the end, you will have to sit an exam and answer the questions. No, at the end of this course, you should be able to start your own business. And to be able to do that, you need to really plan carefully. And the course will help you to go through the process of planning properly. And then the last bit of advice is take care of yourself and take care of others. So you need sleep, you need to eat well, you need to drink water or tea to keep yourself hydrated. Don't just sit for hours and hours in front of your computer or your phone or tablet or whatever you're using. Make sure you take care of yourself. Same, take care of each other. Others are also human beings who are trying to get through this course. Don't be mean to each other. Don't give each other mean comments on whatever they have posted online. I think there is this huge danger because you're kind of behind a computer and somebody cannot quickly answer back. Humans tend to be meaner online than they are in person. So if we work together in this course, try to be respectful and polite and caring about others. Especially also sometimes if we say something in person, you see my face, you hear the tone of my voice, it comes across maybe differently than if I just type it. If I type it, you can read it with the voice of tone that you hear in your head, or with you can imagine my face, my facial expressions in the way you think I mean it. But maybe I did it. So we need to be more careful with what we post online than what we actually say to people. So help each other, be respectful, be caring for yourself and for your peers. These were my two advices at the end. I think we are through. Yes. Any questions, any comments? Let me just move back here. Questions, comments, please let me know.
Thank you so much. This is more than the course. Is I can take it like an advice for our lifetime. Thank you so much.
Anything else? If you have like any questions that you would like to address today before we move, because we'll have our next meeting in 2 weeks. I will schedule another one and send you the invite. Where we will also look at more aspects of entrepreneurship in food. Are there any questions that you have right now to get you through the next 2 weeks so that I can address them now where we are together? No questions? You can also post them in the chat if there's anything. If you have no question, there's red one is writing. Oh. Okay, when we can access module 2. Yes, I will open module 2 now. Now. Okay, good. So I'll open module 2 now. You can access it at your own pace. I will also talk to my team about the issues that you have raised, but don't worry. Most of these were not really major issues, but I will try to make sure that you can track your progress better. Up to which chapter can we proceed until the next meeting? Let's say, shall we make it up to lesson 8? Does that sound fair? Okay, good. Great. And then we'll see each other in 2 weeks again. And in between, I might send you some updates via email. Okay, then I wish you success and fun in the course. If there's anything, you can always leave me a message in the chat, the chat function in the course. You can also, of course, always send me an email. And then we'll see each other in 2 weeks again. Have fun. God bless. Bye-bye.